how much of this comes down to the Emir? So Sheikh Tamim, he is the leader. Obviously, government is much more complex than that, but he himself is very exposed now.
I think so, and I think it comes down to, and it's almost going to come down to personal relationships between the leaderships of the GCC governments and how they're able to resolve this amongst themselves. And the Emir of Qatar finds himself in a very difficult position. He finds himself in a position where he's upset too many people across the region for too long. And it's important to look at the rhetoric coming out of Saudi Arabia and the UAE, which has been in favor of the Qatari people. There's been a brotherly rhetoric and narrative, and it's been very clear that their concern is with the foreign policy of the government and the Emir. So from and there's a distinction between the social relationship of the GCC and the political relationship.
But we talk as if it's a simple thing for Qatar to backtrack on some of these foreign policy positions, but if that's its foreign policy, that's its foreign policy. Are we saying that they don't have a coherent foreign policy and they've muddled through on a sort of without a strategic position, and that's exposed them, got them into this difficult situation? Or is that a coherent foreign policy that is difficult to change?
I think a lot of people looking at the situation run the risk of being a bit short-sighted and not having a very good memory, because the conflict between, or the differences in opinion on foreign and regional policies between Saudi Arabia and Qatar goes back way beyond 2014 or 2002. This is something that goes, and there's disputed areas across the border, and a few situations that have happened. So I think it's a much more deep-rooted issue than a shallow one that we've perceived, and it's just because of the events of the last couple of years and the Trump visit and Iran's re-emergence into the global economy that we tend to look at it with through the viewpoint of the last 4 years. But I think this is it goes back much further, so it's a lot more complicated and difficult. So which also makes it difficult to predict what's going to happen next and how it's going to be resolved.